Now at 10, Joplin police arrest an Illinois murder suspect after an hours-long standoff. Plus, U.S. lawmakers honor the life and legacy of the late Senator Bob Dole. And the end of disruptive supply chain issues might be in sight.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A 10-hour-long standoff in Joplin ends with the arrest of a man wanted for murder in Illinois. This is KOAM News at 10. The incident started early this morning around 1 a.m. Joplin police say an officer spotted the suspect, Christopher Eccles, and tried to stop him, but Eccles ran off to a house on South Connor. Around 11 a.m., police took the suspect into custody. Eccles is wanted for murder in Vermilion County, Illinois. The Missouri State Highway Patrol and the Springfield Police Department assisted the JPD in that operation. Former reality TV star Josh Duggar was immediately taken into custody today after a federal judge convicted him of downloading and possessing child pornography. The jury in Fayetteville, Arkansas found the 33-year-old Duggar guilty on 1 count each of receiving and possessing child pornography. Faces up to 20 years in prison and fines of up to $250,000 for each count when he's sentenced. The judge says sentencing will happen in about 4 months. Duggar and his large Arkansas family starred in TLC's 19 Kids and Counting, until the network canceled the show in 2015 following revelations that he had molested 4 of his sisters and a babysitter. Oklahoma has executed a man for the 1985 shooting death of an Oklahoma City area school teacher. Bigler Stouffer II received a 3-drug lethal injection today at the Oklahoma State Penitentiary in McAllister. The 79-year-old had maintained his innocence in the attack on Linda Reeves and her boyfriend Doug Ivins that left Reeves dead and Ivins seriously injured. The execution proceeded after courts rejected Stouffer's claim that the state's lethal injection method would result in unconstitutional pain and suffering. The Oklahoma Attorney General John O'Connor said in a statement that the execution was carried out with 0 complications. Got to be pretty mild today for December in the 4 states. Doug Hetty.
Yeah, after a couple cold days to start the week, we have been warming up, and then today, well above our average high. 69 is where we topped out. 48 is where we started. 48 or low is where we should be for a high this time of the year. So pretty good. Big turnaround from what we had a couple days ago. We do have some clouds which have been increasing, especially in our southern counties. This is ahead of a storm system which is building back toward the west, which will start to affect us during the daytime hours tomorrow. Temperatures have dropped back upper 40s to near 50. We're pretty close to our overnight low. In fact, temperatures are going to slowly rise after midnight tonight as we get southerly winds starting to kick in. We have a warm front that is developing right in our southern counties, and this is going to lift north. You can see a northerly wind, northern county, southerly wind in our southern counties. So we'll be pushing 60 by morning, 65 by night, 70 by noon, high temp of 74. Some chances for some showers and thunderstorms. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you then. Following a fire last week at the former Holiday Inn in Joplin, we're asking what the future holds for the abandoned building. According to city documents, the vacant hotel has been on the city's radar since 2018. In the time it's been empty, there have been fires, break-ins, and thefts from the property. It's changed hands in 2020 with a new developer promising progress on the facility. The building has been on the Building Board of Appeals agenda 18 times, facing a demolition hearing. Each time it's continued with a promise of progress to be made at the site.
And unfortunately, that's a complicated project and a very expensive project, so you've seen a lot of deals that didn't come to fruition. Probably the latest one we've seen so far is the most promising. Try to manage expectations. Nothing's for sure until you get the building plans and someone applies for a permit.
Bolander adds that while the building isn't part of the new 32nd Street place, it is part of the TIF district. And TIF funds could potentially be used to help rehab the property if a name brand hotel decides to move forward with the building. President Biden, Vice President Harris, and congressional leaders gathered today to pay tribute to the life and legacy of the late Senator Bob Dole. The casket bearing the 98-year-old who died over the weekend light in state at the U.S. Capitol until 7 this evening. Dole's funeral will take place tomorrow at the Washington National Cathedral ahead of a final farewell service Saturday in his home state of Kansas. The U.S. Army is now awarding additional Purple Hearts to soldiers injured in Iraq by an Iranian missile attack in January of 2020. The attack was launched in response to the U.S. killing powerful Iranian General Qasem Soleimani. A CBS News investigation found only 23 soldiers received a Purple Heart, which is given to soldiers injured by enemy action, though dozens more appeared to qualify. Well, now the Army has approved an additional 39 awards and is considering more. Still ahead, Missouri's Attorney General has a warning for school districts: drop your mask mandates or face legal action. And the end of supply chain issues might be in sight. Huge. Missouri Attorney General Eric Schmitt is warning school districts and local public health departments that he'll take legal action if they do not stop enforcing COVID-19 related health orders, such as mask mandates and quarantine rules. In letters sent this week, Schmitt cited a Cole County judge's ruling last month that said health orders issued by local authorities under state health regulations were null and void. Schmitt's office is asking Missourians to send in photos and video from school districts that are still enforcing mask policies. New cases of anorexia soared among kids and teens earlier in the pandemic. That's according to a new study. And doctors say it's important to spot the red flags of an eating disorder early. Mandy Gaither has more.
Teens in a rise in eating disorders, a trend that followed the onset of the pandemic.
We saw sicker patients who came in who needed the hospital more. We saw increasing numbers.
At Nationwide Children's Hospital in Ohio, Dr. Casey Levy says there was not only a rise in eating disorders, but also in the intensity of symptoms during the pandemic.
I would have patients reaching out in crisis, and we didn't have enough resources to provide them with the care that they needed.
A new study published in JAMA Network Open shows a rise in anorexia and atypical anorexia in Canada over the pandemic as well. Between March and November 2020, researchers say cases per month rose from about 24 to 40 at 6 pediatric hospitals. Hospitalizations increased from about 7 to 20 per month. Doctors say many factors likely play into the trend.
We had a lot of patients who, because they had uninterrupted ability to limit their eating, they had uninterrupted ability to exercise, and because adults were going through the same changes that kids were, there weren't as many eyes on oftentimes.
Signs to be aware of include weight loss, a child isolating themselves, extra workouts, and cutting out entire food groups from the diet like carbohydrates. All of these should signal that a conversation is needed. If you still have concerns, reach out to your pediatrician. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Levy says there was a rise in all eating disorders, but particularly anorexia and atypical anorexia. And she says the numbers still aren't back to what they were before COVID-19. The families of nearly 61 million children could get their last child tax credit payment this month if Congress doesn't act soon. President Biden's Build Back Better agenda, which passed in the House, includes a one-year extension of the monthly payments, but the legislation faces an uphill battle in the Senate. The IRS has told some lawmakers the bill needs to pass in 19 days in order for the payments to continue in January. Supply chain issues are starting to ease just in time for Christmas. Congestion at ports are getting cleaned up, shipping prices are starting to fall, and deliveries are speeding up. The situation is not yet completely back to normal. There's still a truck driver shortage, and critical components like computer chips are still scarce. But economists say the worst might be behind us. Inflation has become a growing force in the e-commerce world, hitting a record high just ahead of the holidays. According to Adobe's Digital Price Index, online prices rose in November for the 18th month in a row. Adobe, which covers more than 100 million products in the U.S., saw price increases in 11 of the 18 categories it tracks. The online sticker shock provides yet more evidence of the impact of COVID on the economy. Supply has consistently struggled to keep up with skyrocketing demand. While online inflation hit a record in November, some categories experienced price cuts. Adobe says it's still cheaper to shop online for things like toys, computers, and sporting goods. GameStop shares slid 4% in pre-market trading Thursday after the video game retailer posted a wider loss compared with the year earlier. However, revenue jumped 29% year over year to about $1.3 billion. GameStop disclosed that in August, the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission issued a subpoena for documents relating to an investigation into the trading of its shares. GameStop's earnings reveal that beyond the hype, it's still facing all the problems of a struggling retail company trying to pivot to e-commerce. The Better Business Bureau is warning people about possible scams when buying a pet online. A BBB study shows people buying a pet online are very likely to come across a scam, very likely. And they say it's only gotten worse during the pandemic as more people look for a furry friend to get through the isolation. Victims of these kinds of scams have been reported in Joplin, Neosho, and Oronogo, among other cities.
So every year, Better Business Bureau sees an increase in people buying puppies online. And what we do see, unfortunately, is we also are seeing a huge increase in scammers impersonating real pet breeders. And so what we're seeing is a lot of people are losing a lot of money.
If you're looking for a pet, here's one option. Don't forget to check out your local Humane Society. Later, the Joplin Lady Eagles open up their tournament with a big crowd. Jacob Leonard has the highlights in sports.
Plus, we stay warm for at least tomorrow. Then some pretty big changes roll in. We're going to check that out coming up. Well, it actually turned out to be a really nice day for us today. Temperature is fantastic as we push 70 during the afternoon, which is great for this time of the year, almost 20 degrees above our average high and near record highs across the region. Still looks pretty good. Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri, and it looks like we're going to start to get some clouds increasing as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight and then into the daytime hours for us tomorrow, but at least right now we look okay. All right, look at our highs today. Upper 60s to near 70 across the region. We've dropped back over the past several hours, upper 40s to near 50, but we're pretty much at our overnight low. I think from this point on, we'll slowly rise as we head toward dawn as a warm front starts to shift in. You can see the southerly wind starting to pick up a bit in our southern counties, so we'll get a warm front that lifts through, and that's going to help us out. Again, nice warm temperatures for Friday. Outside right now, we're sitting at 49, easterly winds that are about 5. Humidity is at 80%. We've had a few clouds increasing in our southern counties. Besides that, most of us look pretty good, but we do have our developing storm system, which is getting going out across the western high plains. You can see the snow picking up South Dakota into parts of Nebraska. This extends all the way down through the Rocky Mountains, which really need it. The ski resorts are way behind on snow due to our jet stream has been tracking across the northern plains for the past month or so. Finally, it's starting to dip into the southwestern parts of the U.S. That's the beginning signs of this part of the pattern that we are going into here for about the next 4 weeks. We're really going to get fairly active across the region. This main storm system tracks heavy snow across the northern plains. We don't get much action, meaning showers and thunderstorms. We get a few, but the strong cold front barrels on through tomorrow evening, and then severe weather really gets going out across really the Ohio River Valley down through the Mississippi River Valley, and behind it, much colder air pushes in. So if we get a closer look, for us tonight, we get some clouds in here, may get a random shower or sprinkle as that warm front lifts north late tonight. A lot of clouds through the morning hours. Late morning, early afternoon, we get some showers, maybe a rumble or two of thunder rolling through, but temperatures pretty good tomorrow. 56 to start, 70 by noon, high temp of 74. South winds at about 10 to 20, gusts a little bit higher than that. As we go into the evening hours, here comes our cold front. With the front, we may get a few scattered thunderstorms trying to get going along the front, but the colder air just barrels on in. We drop through the 50s, 40s, down into the 30s by the time Saturday morning rolls around, and then a whole different story on Saturday afternoon. High temps where we should be for the second week of December, highs into the upper 40s to near 50 degrees. But near record highs tomorrow again. 74, high of only 50 Saturday, 56 on Sunday, 63 on Monday, back into the 70s again next Tuesday and Wednesday, with rain chances starting to increase. Snow chances start to increase here in about 14 days.
14 days.
Right before Christmas.
Yes, that occurs to me. Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, the Joplin girls hit the floor in the first round of the Lady Eagle Classic. And Columbus Wrestling hosts a triangular with Girard and Frontenac. Jacob Leonard has that and more straight ahead.
Today is the opening day of the Lady Eagle Classic at Joplin High School. Now, there are 4 games on the schedule today, with the tournament host Eagles getting things started against Blue Valley West. Now, Joplin is 4-1 through 5 games. Check it out, whole student body. Let them out of school early, watch this one. In the first quarter, Ella Hafer. Nice little pump fake. Eagles lead by 2 going to the second. Now the second was a big quarter for Joplin. Hafer gets the rebound, put back, and the foul. She finishes with 8. Then Emma Floyd. Nice pass here to Scarlett Floyd. She scores. Finally, Bryn Driver to Brooke Nice. Nice buries the 3. Eagles get the lead to 12 at halftime. Second half, Bryn Driver, nobody there, just turns around and hits the jumper. She ties for a team high with 12 points. And Brooke Nice is the other one getting 12 in this one. Nice hit 3 threes. Joplin wins their tournament opener today, 49-32. Also in the Lady Eagle Classic tonight, Carl Junction hits the floor against the Rogers Mountaineers. CJ aiming to bounce back from their first loss to Girard. And that's what they did. Bulldogs take down Rogers 56-46. In other local tournament action, today is the opening day of the Carthage Boys Invitational. Now, the hometown Tigers had the 7 o'clock game tonight, kicking things off this afternoon. Webb City opens the tournament against West Plains. Fast break here, Dante Washington fakes, lays it off the window. 16 points in this one for Washington. Then, look at Caden Turner getting up and putting it down. He scores 11. Isaiah Briscoe with the steal. Nice pass here, Washington to Baron Duda. He'll get the finish. Cards lead 18-13. Another takeaway. William Hayes in the paint gets the bank shot for 2. We're tied at half, but West Plains squeaks out a 2-point win in the end, 50-48. After that, the Joplin Eagles face Leavenworth in their first game in Carthage. Joplin cruises in that one 65-51. Always Right finishes with a team high 24 points. Then it was time for the hometown Carthage Tigers to play their first game. They're up against Fort Smith Southside. Carthage wins at 64-48 to move on to the tournament semifinals. Well, Columbus Titans are hosting a wrestling triangular tonight with Girard and Frontenac. Now, earlier this evening, Columbus took down Girard 39-23. So, final duel of the night, Titans try to go 2-0 facing the Frontenac Raiders. 138 pounds Peyton Wilderman going to work for Frontenac, gets the takedown there. He would end it in the first period. Wilderman wins by fall at 30 seconds. Then 160 pounds. Big one for Frontenac's Dawson Lapping. Couple of takedowns. He wins a good one by decision over Trent Smith. And for Lapping, it's career win number 100. But here comes Columbus late. They need a couple pins in the final 2 matches to win it. 220 pounds Isaac Sharp gets it done for the Titans. 1 minute in. Wins by fall over Alonzo Burke. So it comes down to this. Jake Eddington at 285 for Columbus. He does it 48 seconds in over Gage Peterson. That makes it 36-36. And because Columbus had more wins by fall, final over Frontenac goes down 37-36. The Titans go 2-0 in their home triangular. Today's a big day for Seneca High School senior Hunter Beard. Beard signs today to continue her softball career at the college level. Beard is staying in Southwest Missouri, signing today to join the softball program at COTTEY College in Nevada. She's a 4-time varsity letter winner for Seneca, earning all conference, all district, and all region honors. And this is the unique part. She's signing today at just 16 years old.
I skipped a grade when I was in first grade, and then I started playing at the same age as everybody, and I guess I just kind of kept going. It's definitely like scary too, because like they're like, I know that going to college they're going to be like 20, 21-year-olds, and I'm going to be 16, so that's kind of scary, but I think it'll be fun.
And that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Staff Sergeant R.B. Chrisman. The Joplin native served in the U.S. Army, and we are proud to salute Staff Sergeant R.B. Chrisman. He's tonight's four-state hero. Now, long before Elon Musk became the face of innovation with Tesla and SpaceX, he worked as a teaching assistant. It was 1995, and the young Musk was studying economics and physics at the University of Pennsylvania. As a teaching assistant at the university's Wharton School of Business, Musk helped grade exams and papers. Well, it seems those items are now highly sought after and valuable. Some of the papers Musk graded recently sold in an online auction for more than $7,000. The figure included a 25% fee paid to the auction company. The buyer was not identified. Can you imagine getting a grade back from Elon Musk way back when? Maybe you got a D. I don't know why you would save it if it was a D, but for whatever reason, you save that thing and now you sell it and you get thousands of dollars.
That would be strange.
Yeah.
Huh.
Everything that guy touches turns to gold.
That's true.
Well, they're looking pretty nice.
Except for that D.
No, that D turned to $7,000 worth of gold.
All right, 74 tomorrow, some scattered showers, and then turning much cooler for the weekend.
Final sports news.
All right, I got to give a shout out to Altoona Midway girls basketball. They snapped a 116-game losing streak today.
Good for them. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.
Salon service is provided.